Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, our English learning journey. My name is Vanessa, and today I'm here with my classmates, Adriana, Claudia, and Ashley. In this podcast, we are going to talk about our experience learning English, the challenges we have faced, strategies to help us improve and memorable experiences and our future goals as English students and future teachers. We hope these conversations feel natural and interesting because learning English is a different experience for everyone. Thank you for your joining us, and let's begin. Okay, well, the first question. eh, I would like to ask a simple but important question. When and how old, eh, sorry, when and how did you start learning English?
Okay, hello of all my classmates. Well, in my case, I started learning English at school, especially in a private school where English was very important, and we also had French classes. However, I only studied there for about 1 year, so my learning at that time was very basic and I did not really develop strong English skills. After some time, before entering university, I became interested in English again in a more independent way. And during the pandemic, I started watching videos and online classes that help me understand vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation little by little. And I remember repeating words and expressions because I really wanted to understand better and feel more confident. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I understand that because something similar happened to me. I started learning English at the school, but at that time I only learned basic vocabulary and simple grammar topics. Later, when I started studying foreign language at UNAD, I become more interested and motivated to improve my English skills, especially with pronunciation and grammar. However, with practice, virtual class, um, podcasts, videos, and constant study, I start feeling more confident little by little. Thank you.
Okay, mm, yes, I can relate to both of you. In my experience, I started learning during my school years, but I become more interested in the languages when I begin my studies in the bachelor's degree in foreign languages at UNAD. Likewise, I started practicing English through virtual classes, listening activities, music videos, and academic exercise. Over time, I understood that English is very important for communication, education, and professional opportunities. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with you. In my case, I started to learning English when I was in the school. Yeah, I remember when I was like a baby, like maybe 5 years, 6 years old. I started to learn English. And obviously, it's not like something um, hard. No, it's something more like simple things. But yeah, everything is a process. And then I continue with my learning in English in the school and then in the university. And well, that is it all. Well, second question. That's very interesting. And now let's talk about the challenges. What difficulties have you faced while learning English?
Okay, for me, of the biggest challenge has been speaking fluently and using grammar correctly while having conversation in English. Sometimes I understand the topics, but I feel nervous when I have to speak in front of the other person because I am afraid of making mistakes. Another difficult for me has been pronunciation and remembering new vocabulary. However, I try to improve by practicing constantly and participating in speaking activities during the classes. Thanks.
Yeah, I completely understand that because I experience sometimes similar. In my case, one of my biggest challenges has been concentration, um, because sometimes I get distracted easily, and because of that, learning vocabulary or grammar takes me more time. And sometimes I studied something, and later I felt like I forgot part of it. And honestly, that was frustrating for me. Another challenge was confidence because I used to feel nervous during the speaking activities or when we had to record videos for university, and I was afraid of making mistakes or pronouncing sometimes incorrectly, and sometimes nervous made everything feel harder. Little by little, I tried to improve my um, organizing my study time better, um, focusing more while studying, listening to relaxing music, and reminding myself that mistakes are part of learning. And yeah, I think confidence grows with practice. And even if I still feel nervous sometimes, and now I feel more comfortable speaking English than before. Thank you.
Mm, yeah, yes, I agree. One of the main difficulties I have faced while learning English is speaking fluently and feeling confident when communicating with others. Sometimes, sometimes I have problems with pronunciation and understand native speakers. I also find it difficult to remember new vocabulary and use grammar correctly in some conversations. However, I try to improve by practicing every day, listening to music in English, watching videos, and participating in speaking activities. I believe that constant practice helps me become more confident and improve my skills, my English skills. Thank you.
Okay. In my case, and the difficult, more uh, important to me is like a grammar, and especially because I study foreign languages too, but I study English in another university, and yeah, in a special that part of grammar is so difficult because I literally forgot everything, like the structures from the sentences and other things like that. And yeah, now the third question. Um, let's move to something more positive. What strategies help you improve your English?
Okay, in my case, one strategy that helped me a lot was watching series because sometimes I watch them first in Spanish to understand the story, and later I watch them again in English to pay attention to vocabulary and pronunciation. And I also listen to songs in English, and sometimes I read the lyrics while listening. Then later I try to understand the songs without reading everything. And I think music helped me improve vocabulary and pronunciation in a more fun and natural way. And another thing that helped me was listening to podcasts and watching videos in English because they help me improve my listening skills little by little. And also university activities like oral presentations, classes, and study groups gave me opportunities to ask questions, listen to others, and practice speaking more often. So I think practice and repetition really help me improve.
I agree with both of you. In my case, watching YouTube videos, listening to music, um, listening to music in English, yes, and practicing vocabulary every day help me improve a lot. I also think that participating in university activities and oral presentation help me become more confident when speaking English little by little.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, some strategies that help me is, yeah, listen music too, and watch series or movies, or read a book. In a special, um, when I have uh, uh, a question for the meaning for some word, I usually like first listen the word, and then I just search the meaning. And yeah, that is it.
Okay. Honestly, I think uh, are on the better strategies for improve the pronunciation English. Uh, Also, the affluent and complex everyday that skills in the English.
Okay. And now the fourth question. And now I want to ask something more personal. Do you have any memorable experiences relating to learning English?
Yes, I think one memorable experience for me was participating in presentations at university and receiving positive comments about my pronunciation. And I remember feeling surprised because sometimes I feel insecure when speaking English. So hearing positive comments gave me more confidence and motivation to continue improving. And another memorable moment was realizing that I could understand more English than before. For example, during classes, videos, songs, or activities, at the beginning I understood very little, and sometimes I feel frustrated. But later I started noticing that I understood more vocabulary and expressions. Thank you.
That sounds really nice. Uh, and I understand that feeling. And one memorable experience for me was participating in oral presentation at the university. At first, I felt very nervous, but after practicing and participating more, um, I start feeling more confident. That is all.
Mm, okay, something similar happening to me. However, one of the most memorable experiences related to learning English was participating in oral presentation and speaking activities at the university. At first, I feel very nervous and insecurity about speaking in front of other people, but with practice, I become more confident. Another memorable experience was understand songs and videos in English without needing translation. That made feel very motivated and proud of my progress in learning the language. Thank you very much.
I like hearing that. Eh, I think one memorable thing um, was in a meeting in, in the school. We had a meeting with another country. It's more like in South Korea. So, well, we only speak in English because I don't know nothing about um South Korean cultures or something like that. And especially the language. For me, it's so difficult. I know something about that because sorry, I have that experience. So well, yeah, that was a very good experience, and yeah, that's
Uh,
um. Sorry. Continue.
I agree with that. And I think moments like these are very important because they help us realize that learning English is a process and every small achievement matters. And sometimes we focus too much on mistakes or or focus on the difficulties, and we forget that little by little we are improving.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for your comment. And now the fifth question. For our last question, I want to ask, what is your current level and what are your future goals in English?
Okay, my future goals are to improve my pronunciation, expand my vocabulary, and communicate more naturally in English. I also want to use English in academic and professional environment and continue learning through constant practice and constant dedication.
Um, in my case, I think my um, current level is around B2. Although I still feel I need to improve many things. For example, my pronunciation, fluency, confidence, and also becoming faster when thinking in English because sometimes um, um, I know what I want to say, but I need more time to organize my ideas. One of my goals is to practice more and to and try to think in English uh, more often in daily situations. And also my goals with English are personal as well as professional because I really enjoy music and singing. And one of my biggest dreams is to become a singer on cruise ships because they travel around the world, and English is one of the main languages used there. So for that reason, I feel very motivated to continue improving my English because I think it can help me communicate better, feel more confident, and have better opportunities in the future.
It's okay. I agree with that. My future goals are to improve my speaking skill. For example, speaking and grammar, pronunciation and vocabulary. I also want to feel more confident communicating in English and become an excellent English teacher who can help students learn in a dynamic, strategic, and meaningful way.
Okay. For me, my goal is have a C1 level, and yeah, well, it's speak very fluency the language, and obviously I know I need to practice more the grammar and the fluency and the confidence and the other things like that, but I know I can do it. But I just make it a little by little. And well, okay, and now we are closing. So, well, we have reached the end of our podcast. Today, we shared our experiences, challenges, strategies, and memorable moments, and future goals in learning English.
Yes, I think we learn that learning English is a process that takes time. It takes patience, practice, and motivation. because sometimes it can feel difficult, especially when we have problems with pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, or confidence when speaking. Thank you very much for this space.
Okay, that is all interesting. Okay, once making mistakes is normal. Um, and confidence grows with the practice. That is my conclusion.
Well, thank you for listening to our podcast, our English learning journey. We hope you enjoyed our conversation. Goodbye, everyone.